September 9th, 2025. One of the most exciting days of the year to be a Shenandoah Esports student because we get to bear witness to the reigning, defending, NECC Division IV national champions, the Shenandoah Hornets, return to the pitch in week 1 of the fall 2025 season against Conestoga College, which should be a very exciting matchup. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Clayton alongside Ben Kincaid as we welcome you for the first time this calendar year, this academic year, back to our booth. It's been a long time. We've missed you. I hope you missed us. We've got an extra buddy back here too, so there's 3 of us. I should have introduced Buzzy down here right on top of our little ticker, but it's exciting to be back. I'm glad to be back. Are you glad to be back?
I am stoked, Chris. I mean, it's been a long summer of waiting for SU Esports to return, waiting to get back into the broadcast booth, waiting to watch our teams perform, have fun, fierce competition, the whole 9 yards, and we get it here tonight against Conestoga College, a very, very strong team against another very, very strong team in SU, which have had some shakeups in the roster, which we will get to later on here as we go through kind of our starting intro here. First up, though, we are going to look at what the group looks like for this NACE varsity premiere. As we throw that up onto the TV here, we have a couple of teams in here that we are familiar with. We have 8 teams. We've played JMU before, FIU and Smash Bros, and I believe Rocket League as well. Kaiser University also making the group here as well.
Yeah, some familiar faces in this group. A very strong group, but that's to be expected in this NACE Varsity Premier Division. Like you said, James Madison, a local college to Shenandoah as well. Familiar opponent across a couple titles. You said it, Florida International, giving our Smash team some problems last year, but also Rocket League rematch coming up, as well as Kaiser, a familiar opponent. I believe we played did we play Albright? I'm pretty sure we played Albright. Maybe not, I'm not sure, but either way, strong opponents all throughout that bracket, but none of that matters, right? Clean slate, no matter what. The past is the past, and everybody is looking to write their own story this season.
Yeah, I mean, this is week 1 after a summer break, right? So there's a lot of shakeup. Freshmen coming into the scene for schools, right? So we don't know if this Conestoga team is just some new people coming in to play together. We know on the SU side there's 3 familiar faces, but 2 that have been here pretty much for the last 2 years straight. But it's going to be a close matchup. We're going to look at now the head-to-head matches between these 2 teams, seeing what they did last season. We can see the win-loss favoring Conestoga here, but there's some potential with how close SU series were last semester.
Yeah, you and I both know very well. This is one of my favorite quotes from legendary football coach Nick Saban. Preseason rankings are rat poison. It is hard to tell how good any team will be coming into a season, and the only thing we can go off is how they did last season. But frankly, that's arguably not a factor. Right. Like, it's so much can change in the game, in the players, in the rosters, but right now this is what we have to go off of. And Conestoga certainly looking good last year, 5-3 record. Shenandoah not as much, right? 2-5 certainly not where they wanted to be. If you look down lower at the games, they certainly held their own in that regard, right? A higher game percentage versus series percentage, but ultimately not able to finish the job as much as I'm sure they would have liked. So we'll take a look at the roster for this season. Conestoga College, shout out to them for sending us some headshots of their players. We get to familiarize ourselves with this roster. Chunk, Cyber, and 80 coming in to represent Conestoga.
Yes, Chunk and Cyber are the 2 that I am looking at the most here. They're both SSL players here for Conestoga. 80 is a GC3, so pretty darn up there.
Very strong.
Practically an SSL player, but there is some gap between those 2 rankings, surely. But yeah, I think it's going to be a very, very close matchup in the middle there. Cyber is the captain, the leader of this squad coming from Conestoga, so we'll have to see how they perform here in week 1 as we take a swap over to the Shenandoah University Rocket League. Some familiar faces, Kiazi, Mango, and Pagani making his way from that sub position to the starting roster.
Yes, standing across across the field in their brand spanking new blackout jerseys here for the fall 2025 season here at Shenandoah. Looking very nice. Mango there in the middle. Again, a superstar player for this roster, has sort of been the man to do it all, especially on the offensive side of the ball, but joined by great company, right? We got to see Pagani really put it together toward the end of last season, especially being that third man, being that defensive presence, and really clamping down the field when they needed to.
Yeah, I mean, Chiazzi and Pagani have been very, very strong in kind of that fill position for this SU roster. At Chiazzi, we often see him playing that midfield to back position. Mango always going up in the air, trying to find frankly, some crazy plays off of walls, off of ceilings, that attack position, and Pagani doing a great job at filling in kind of this corner rotation, coming through, applying pressure where needed, and making sure that they can try to maintain possession of the ball. But it's very exciting to see Pagani move in here, because we saw them play only one time a week last semester, and now they're going to be every single time a week, right? In any game that SU has, we will see Pagani pretty much coming through on this starting roster. So I'm very excited to see the way that they perform together. It's going to be a little bit of a shakeup with how they all three play together. We know Mango and Chiazzi, does have the synergy from the last 2 years. Pagani now coming back in through the last year, so we'll have to see how that goes, but I'm pretty excited to see them in action.
Yeah, while strictly speaking it is a roster change, it's hardly a roster change, right? Because Pagani has been around now. I believe this is his 4th year here, and while he has been on and off the team, in and out of sub positions, a familiar face nonetheless. But a very familiar face that has been on this team now since his first semester here is Chiazzi, like we mentioned earlier, and we have him standing by with one of our players from a different team. You might recognize him. We have Avery standing out in the arena with one of our players from tonight.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Ben, for bringing us to the Shenandoah Esports Arena, where the magic happens. My name is Avery Giesman, and I get the esteemed privilege of interviewing none other than elite player Chiazzi. Chiazzi, what are your thoughts about being here again for a new season of competition?
Well, thank you, Avery. The new season of competition, it's just a fresh start, as always. We're like goldfish. We forget the last season is brand new, and we're just going to go out and win.
That's excellent, Chiazzi. And you guys had a lot of success last year coming off of your NECC season as Div 4 champions. And I think the NACE season is probably where we get some of that forgetfulness. But what are your goals looking at this season? As you know, last season was a lot of success. How do you change that? How do you build the new foundation for this competition?
So this season we're just going to focus on mainly just trying to build our teamwork together. It was showing last season toward the end of it, and we're just trying to build up on top of that.
Yeah, so would you say that we have a lot of new and like innovative strategies for you guys? Or would you say in the offseason that there was more of a refining process, working what has already been successful for you guys?
I would say it was more of a refining process, because like you said, we did end off last season with a little win. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully it comes out on top.
That's excellent. And I know you always bring the energy on the Shenandoah Rocket League team. What do you want to say to get the audience hyped for this match?
Hey, this is the first game day, baby. Come on!
Yeah, let's get some hashtag SU wins in the chat. Back to you, Chris and Ben.
Thank you very much, Avery. Wow, hard to not be excited after that. We appreciate you bearing with us through some technical issues as well. It's the PC's first show of the week as well, but we'll figure our way through that. Great to hear from him, though. Certainly a lot of energy coming from that team as they prepare to write their story for the season.
Yeah, and Avery did mention in one of the questions about NECC, right? They won the Division 4 National Championship last semester with the roster that we are seeing here tonight. So we know this roster is capable of great things, a natty already in their back pocket, but that was an NECC. This is NACE, Varsity Premier, a lot better competition in this conference. So we'll have to see how they fare here in week number 1. I can't wait to get this one underway. I believe we are fairly close to starting this first game here. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm very excited to get this one started. I was talking to Nando a little bit earlier. That's our competition coordinator for those of you that do not know. He was feeling pretty good. This is week 1, so of course there's some jitters. There's going to be a lot to work on after this first game. And even if you win, there's always stuff to work on, right? So they're definitely going to be focused up, voting, looking at this one back, and ready to go new in week 2.
Yeah, it's exciting because of how much experience this team has in competition period, right? This team, these players have been around, have been on this team pretty much since they all individually came to Shenandoah. So this is nobody's first game, right? Mm-hmm. This is nobody's got the jitters of finding their feet in their first collegiate match, right? We've all been in this situation before, and while it's always a little bit scary coming into a new season, all of these players have overcome this in the past, and I don't see why they can't do it again. But you and I both know it's exciting when you get to challenge one of the better teams in your opening matchup, right? This is something that I'm sure they've had their eyes on for a while, because this is a heck of a test right off the bat. And there's, you said it, plenty to learn no matter the outcome of tonight. But you'd certainly like to see how you size up to some of the top teams.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be a great tell of where this SU roster looks just right out of the gate. If they can come up with a win here in this series, that would be a massive weight off their shoulders, knowing that this is one of the stronger teams that they will be facing here in this group. So if they can do that, that would be great. But we'll have to wait and see. We did just get word we're getting a little bit of technical difficulty, so hopefully this match will get started up soon. But for the time being, you're stuck with little old me, Chris, and Buzzy here. Buzzy, do you have anything to say?
No,
but
yeah, that's okay. A little camera shy. It's, you know what? It's Buzzy's first show out here, and we're happy to have him. He'll warm up to this whole process. He is a little camera shy, and that's okay. Well, yeah, as we continue to hopefully sort through some technical issues, we should get underway, and we'll take you in as soon as the players start. But plenty to work on from last season, right? It's obviously hard to look at a Division IV national championship title and say, it could have been better. Right. But let's be real, right? It could have. And while they looked incredible in their competition, there's tougher, bigger fish out in the sea. So in terms of improvement, right, we know that Mango is the guy on this team, right? I think all of them would tell you that as well. He's team captain, he's a very personable leader, but he's also incredible in the game. So it's hard to expect much more from him, but yeah, it will be exciting to see what we see from these sort of facilitator roles in Kiazi and Pagani. Where can they step up? Where can they make a play when needed? That's going to be a big question that I'm keeping an eye out for before we get into the game. Yeah, no, 100%. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Mango operates here in week number 1. I was looking back in my notes a little bit throughout the NACC Division 4 playoff run, and I put dashes where everyone scored, right? Mango has a lot of them, if not all of them, right? I mean, let's see. In the semifinals, we had 15 goals from Mango in a, good Lord,
I'm assuming a 3 to 4 game series, right? In the national championship, they had 9 on the board from Mango himself, 5 from Kiazi in that one as well. Pagani going scoreless, but it'll be interesting to see kind of how everyone lines up, right? Is Pagani going to take that forward-facing role here from Mango and have him play a little bit more defensively? We know that Pagani and Kiazi both are very, very comfortable with taking shots on goal. It's just a matter, frankly, of speed, and Mango is by far the fastest player here on this team. So it'll be up to oh my gosh, Conestoga. There it is, Conestoga, to keep up with Mango's speed, but also keep track of where Kiazi and Pagani are on the field.
Yeah, that was a big thing that I took away from that national championship series. Was I was not back here on the desk for that series. I got to be out in the arena listening to the players talk to each other, listening to how they interacted, how they debriefed between games. And one of the big takeaways, genuinely, was Pagani doesn't need to score. Pagani doesn't even need to like cross midfield because they couldn't score on him. And that was an agreement from the team. It was an agreement from Pagani, and that says a lot about his character because it really can be hard for some of these high-level players in anything, in any video game, in any traditional sport. It can be hard to put the ball down or put the ball in the hands of your teammates and let them do the flashy stuff, the things that people get credit for. But Pagani truly did hold that team together because there was no offensive pressure when Pagani got comfortable. So while, yes, finishing that series with 0 goals, I expect to see similar stats from this season, and that is far from a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, Pagani, like you said, was an absolute wall throughout the playoffs. Nothing was getting by him. The rotations were there, setting up with plenty of assists, I could only assume, with how he plays out of the corner. A very, very good corner player, finding clears to Mango, to Kiazi. So we'll just have to see how Pagani fares here in this week 1, game 1. We saw on the face cams there, Pagani bobbing his head a little bit, feeling comfortable, listening to some music. We saw Kiazi there as well, stone-faced. We know he's very emotive at times, so we'll probably see that throughout the course of this series. But Griff as well, Mango, the main captain, the main man of this SU roster, stone cold, focused, ready to get going in this game.
Yeah, and let's be honest too. We know, you and I know, a lot of the students here know, that our Rocket League roster is very momentum-based. Mentally speaking, they can get caught up in slumps when their game is not going their way. So that's another big thing that I didn't think about until now, that, yeah, it is very important to come out to a strong start here and at least show that you can keep up if needed or, dominate from the start. Nobody's going to complain about that. But yeah, I think this first game is going to be a big deal. I think if you lose a close one, this team can absolutely power through that. But the mental of this team is certainly a factor, and we'll see if they're able to hold down the fort for tonight and keep it a close one. But if Conestoga really starts to get rolling, that could get dangerous for this team.
Yeah, and on the side of Conestoga, the person that I have my eyes on is Cyber, right? The captain of that team as well. SSL, extremely fast player, extremely aggressive player when it comes to the side of Conestoga. So we'll have to see how the Mango Cyber matchup kind of works out. Who is going to get the upper hand on those offensive shots, the shots on goal coming from both of these players. So we'll have to see who can step up on the defensive end, win 50-50s, who's going to take the 50-50s, right? If Mango is up in the air taking a 50-50, loses it to Cyber, it's up to Kiazi and Pagani to really step up and stop the momentum, maintain possession, and take that ball back, and then flip that then onto some offensive pressure of their own. As we go into the hype chamber, it looks like we might be getting close to starting this match.
Yeah, I was just about to say, when this is on our screen, that means we're awfully close to getting in the game. And while we looked at the player cams, I couldn't help but notice that it looks like Mango's on a different PC. But I view that as good news because I assume that means we are underway, or at least very close to it. So as we load into our field for tonight, the lobby is open, the players are joining, and we are about to kick off our fall 2025 NACE Varsity Premier season.
Kickoff here, Shenandoah in blue, Conestoga over here in orange. It's 80 already up in the air, carrying it off to the back post. Will be able to bury it with a double tap within the first 6 seconds.
Well, how about it? A heck of a window here off the backboard. A slight little touch. Kiazi just a little past it, but nothing to panic about just yet. A quick strike, though, from Conestoga. Got to feel good about that.
Now, within the first seconds off of that backboard, 80 again winning out on that kickoff, but now it's Mango's turn up in the air, goes down low, the follow-up coming through, unable to find it. Pagani now with the clear back towards the goal, but Cyber is there on the defensive end. It's 80 again chasing that ball off into the far corner, but now a little bit of a ping-pong match coming through. Mango now pushing it off into the corner. Follow-up from Kiazi is there, but the defense from Conestoga is already in position.
Yeah, SU throwing a lot of bodies at the ball right now, banging it pretty hard, but keeping control of the ball, so never handing it away, but no great shot threats from that sequence. So as a minute is almost passed in this game, Shenandoah now deep into the corner, but low boost means low threat. Mango now finding some boost of his own, but unable to make a play. Conestoga now with the ball in the SU's corner. No serious scoring threat just yet.
And you can see Kiazi getting boost-starved right now, trying to find any sort of momentum to be able to get some sort of contact with that ball. Mango now up in the air, but Chunk is there to make contact on that 50-50, winning it out for his team. Pagani now also back in the air, unable to get the touch that they wanted. Gets demoed as well, but still, that back and forth presence coming through from both of these teams. A pinch on the ground, but Kiazi is already there for the save, but that one will not go in SU's favor. Cyber winning in the 50-50 on target.
Yeah, that's a tough angle. Pagani goes up, and Conestoga with a response to pinch it off the ground, and just a tough 50. Cyber with a beautiful angle there to sneak it through the SU defense. Puts them at a 2-goal deficit, but still plenty of time on the clock, and SU looking pretty good for themselves, at least on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, SU has had some looks here on offense, but right now they're really struggling, I feel, in the boost management situation. Oh, Mango with a flip up! That is how you get back in a game. Mango now brings it back within one.
This is what we were talking about pregame. I mean, these are the types of moments where Mango sometimes just has to take control. Flip it right over the head of 2 Conestoga defenders and count it in the back of the net. So Shenandoah responds quickly, making a 1-goal deficit, but not for long. Quick response after quick response. Conestoga strikes back.
Yeah, I mean, Cyber getting that touch. No one back from SU. Mango trying to get there from that corner boost, but just unable to do so. A very quick response there from Conestoga, finding themselves with a 2-goal lead with 3 to go in game number 1.
Well, offense has been the name of the game so far. 4 goals in 2 minutes so far in this series. 2 of those goals coming within 10 seconds of the kickoff. So, very bloody game here so far as that ball dangerously drifts toward the net. Kiazi all over it, so no big problem. Kiazi forced to turn around and make a late save and can't quite get there. Cyber able to launch that one in from deep in the corner. Kiazi just a little too late. Third man couldn't find it.
Yeah, Pagani was there to try to find that clear, but Cyber, the positioning of that car was absolutely beautiful off of that wall, catching the clear on target. Kiazi obviously caught flat-footed in that sense, unable to get back for the save in time. And Conestoga, again, still relentless on this pressure so far as Pagani now tries to find the carry, but is easily picked up by Cyber there, finding a pinch into the corner. Will cross over a bump as well. Who's going to get it? Kiazi there with the save for SU.
Yep, we passed the halfway point. Pagani finds a demo in their corner, so it buys Shenandoah a little bit of time. Pagani goes back up to the corner, and we'll see if Shenandoah is able to put together an offensive possession, but Chunk all over that one, intercepts it off the ground. They go for a little team pinch, just a little wide, and now the counter strike starts. Cyber all over that one in the corner, though, so again, quickly killing any momentum Shenandoah gets on the offensive side of the ball.
Kiazi again, no boost in that corner, trying to find a cross play to either Pagani or Mango, but just unable to find anything. Now, another bump coming through from Kiazi there on Chunk, but 80 trying to find that touch to send that in a cross position, but just unable to make the contact that they were looking for. Cyber now up in the air, flip reset, won't be able to make contact, no boost to work with. Mango now back on the clear 80, instead opting for that backwards pass, trying to reset the offense.
Demo at midfield, Pagani, and now Shenandoah, a man down, as 80 bangs one shot all the way from midfield, and it is right on target. Shenandoah running out of time, and the deficit grows to 4. Conestoga is looking like they've got game 1 under wraps here.
Yeah, no one back on defense there for Shenandoah. Conestoga now 5-1 with 1:11 to go. That's a hat trick now for 83 goals. That kickoff almost on target there, but just going wide right from Kiazi. Pagani getting demoed again. Cyber with the flip reset does not opt to go for it. Mango with a little bit of a dribble there, but will get interrupted by the defense of Conestoga. Pagani trying to get something going in the air, but falling flat-footed with the ball on his hood. Let's see if SU can do anything here in the last 45 seconds.
Yeah, Kiazi with a nice bang there. Cyber gets bumped, launched from the ball. Mango with an opportunity, but a tight window, and he gets beat to the ball on the breakaway. So Conestoga once again looking to strike quickly. Kiazi able to block that one. One more shot from the corner will go wide once again. So SU now with firm control of the ball, but never mind. Intercepted once again as Mango tries to pass it upfield, and Conestoga just controlling the field from one end to the other. Shenandoah just starving for a proper offensive possession.
Yeah, now with 10 seconds left, down for this game is done and dusted. Let's see if SU can finish it off on a high note. A shot coming through from Pagani, but Chunk is already there. It's going to be 80 there again with the push into the corner. This ball very, very close to hitting the ground, but will be floating around here up in the air. Cyber trying to have that hit the ground. It finally will. Conestoga up 1-0 here in the opening series.
All right, Conestoga looked very strong in that game on all fronts, frankly. It was very well controlled from start to finish, right? The early strike, I believe like 6 seconds into the game, getting on the board and never losing the lead. So, big improvements needed for Shenandoah here.
Yeah, and frankly, it just seemed like they were lost on what their rotations were supposed to be. It didn't seem like they were on the same page of who's going to go on offense, who's going to go on defense, who's going to be that middle man here to try to facilitate these passing lanes that we've seen this team be able to break out before. But on the side of Conestoga, I was looking at Cyber, but I really should have been looking at 80, right? Immense speed going to that ball. The closing speed from that player was absolutely tremendous, making sure that SU was almost always fighting for a clear and unable to get it a majority of the time because Cyber and Chunk were already up in the air to catch them, setting up 80 for these offensive strikes.
Yes, now this is a longer series, so Shenandoah has time to bounce back. This is a best of 5, so while game 1 goes Conestoga's way, Shenandoah with time to rebound. A couple things that I think you just covered pretty well. There were a couple moments in there where it felt like Shenandoah's communication just wasn't quite there, and we'll see if they're able to bounce back. We won't talk about it for too long as we load into game 2 here, and Shenandoah able to defend their goal for the first 10 seconds, an improvement already from game number 1.
I was just about to say, already looking better here in game number 2. Chunk passing it off into the corner. Kiazi able to catch that one, flip up to Mango, trying to connect on that pass, but just unable to get there in time. First 30 seconds, 0-0. This is not something that we saw in game number 1. And something else we didn't see in game number 1 was SU ball control, right? They have had a lot more possession of the ball thus far, but just as I say it, Cyber with a shot will go just wide. Mango there as well on that push into the corner.
Yeah, the first moment it seems like Shenandoah is able to get comfortable and leave their side of the field. Conestoga almost able to take advantage, but ball bouncing dangerously on top of the net. Well defended by SU to never let it drop in front of the net. So Conestoga now forced to play on the back foot. 80 goes up high and is able to clear it back, but Mango still maintaining control. Great touch there off the ceiling. He will throw it to the ground, but it will be intercepted once again. Cyber everywhere he needs to be on the field. One shot goes to the goal, but Chunk all over that one. So we remain scoreless, and 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. Conestoga with an opportunity here, but a great touch there by Kiazi to take the play away.
Yeah, they find the demo onto Pagani, but unable to find anything off of it. Pagani now catching this clear. The clear's looking so much cleaner here from the side of SU. They're anticipating where this ball is going to go, seeing what they were doing in game number 180, pushing it off into the corner. The touches all by themselves. Ooh. Oh my goodness, that was a massive individual effort from 80, and they get it done. All
the way down the field by himself. Kiazi just a little too low on that ball. Conestoga strikes first once again, but Shenandoah holding their own a little bit better than last time. Improvements are improvements, and you got to take them where you can get them. But ball now in control of Conestoga. Cyber certainly not the one you'd like to see it in. You don't want to see it in his hands as Mango tries to find a cheap one there. Won't go in. A nice little bump in the goal, but Shenandoah unable to capitalize as the ball drifts back all the way to their own corner.
Pagani able to get back in time and find that carry past midfield. Chunk now with a clear. The flip reset is there, but a pinch on target here. But Cyber already back on that defensive end, able to catch that on-target clear coming through from SU. Some demos coming through as well. Across is there, but no one there to follow up for the side of the Hornets. 80 now back into the corner, trying to find a pinch cross, but unable to do so. 1-0 still for Conestoga.
Yeah, Conestoga doing a good job of starving SU for boost as well. There were a couple seconds there where everybody was about sub 30 boost. We go for a pinch off the ground, but just off target. So Conestoga now forced to get back, but again, not much threat from SU, not able to get down the field fast enough. Pagani tries to bounce one in Cyber all over it once again. So offensive efforts still stuffed out so far, but Shenandoah remaining scoreless, still looking to change that, and with only one goal on the board, certainly not out of this yet.
Pagani with a little bit of a bump on Chunk there. Kiazi now trying to find the pass, but back on rotations was Mango and Pagani. Now a shot on goal, flip backwards off the post, and the clear coming through from Mango. 80 now up in the air, no boost to work with anymore, but a whiff coming through means that Chunk can capitalize. 2-0 for Conestoga.
Yeah, that was just so awkward for Pagani for so long, forced to go up eventually, but just it misses the ball. Conestoga able to put together one heck of a team effort on that one, finish the job, and now create a 2-goal lead for the Condors.
Kiazi now off the wall, has some boost to work with, will opt to take it low instead. Mango in the air now to catch that one. Flip reset is there into the corner, but Chunk able to find a beautiful clear. Pagani meeting that one half field as well. A minute to go, only down 2. Still plenty of time for SU to get back in this game, and that clear possibly on target will just go a little bit left, barely missing on that one. Pagani with a clear back into the post. Kiazi trying to follow up, but the defense holding strong thus far for Conestoga. Mango with another shot as well, but Cyber is there to stop the momentum.
Yeah, tough break there for SU. They keep putting shots on goal, but every time it looked like Conestoga had at least 2 men in the net, so not much to show for it, as a nice little touch there is on target. Pagani with a nice little finger roll there. A soft touch into the net will finally put Shenandoah on the board.
Yeah, I mean, you can see players from SU behind the defense of Conestoga. Able to find that touch is Mango, and Pagani is right there to receive that crossing pass, shooting bottom left, able to find that goal and bring it back within 180. Now up in the air, Mango with the interception, pushing it off into the corner. No boost means that Cyber will be able to get there first. 80 also back on the retreat, able to get that touch, pushing it away from Kiazi. 20 seconds left, SU down 1.
Man, it does really look like Conestoga is doing a great job of swarming to the ball. Anytime Shenandoah seems to find some semblance of control, some semblance of possession, Conestoga is launching themselves to whoever has the ball, or intercepting passes, or doing a good job of just choking out these sustained Shenandoah offensive efforts, as Conestoga watches the clock tick to 0 and takes game 2 in that one. But man, it is hard to watch Shenandoah just sort of slowly bleed out in these games.
Yeah, and towards the end there of game number 2, we saw multiple shots on goal, but Conestoga's defense holding strong. Chunk and Cyber always there to have the first go. Goes Cyber, misses. Maybe it's a 50-50 won by SU as well, but Chunk is always back in that reserve on that defensive end, able to save the day for Conestoga. Just the defense shining right now. A much closer game, a 2-1 victory instead for Conestoga, apart from that 5-1 there in game number 1. So we'll have to see if SU can kick it into gear here offensively, because game 2 did look a whole lot better.
Yeah, and then this is what we talked about pregame as well. Look at those faces. This is where you got to be able to shake it off so far and try to lock in for this 0-0 game 3, right? This is where nothing in the past has mattered. We're going to win this game. We're going to take this one play at a time. If you're Shenandoah, you got to be able to shake off everything that has happened so far. There's been a lot of information that both teams have been able to pick up. We've seen 10 minutes of Rocket League gameplay from both sides. So what adaptations have we seen? What can we change along the way and try to find results? We load into game 3 and we'll see if SU is able to find some answers to those questions.
Yeah, this is the time to be a goldfish, Kiazi. Forget about the first 2 games. Let's see what you can do here in game 3. 80 already doing a great job, winning out on the 50-50 as well with no boost. The clear coming through, caught by Cyber. Flip reset is there, but unable to follow through. Not enough momentum with that car, but thus far it's Conestoga here with possession, with power, with the aggression here in game number 3.
Yep, Pagani with a touch to midfield as Mango looked for the follow-up, but well defended once again by Conestoga. Not letting any of these passes reach their destinations. So might need to see a little bit more individual effort, individual plays from these SU players, and that's something that we have seen on multiple occasions from this team in the past. And we'll see if Pagani or Kiazi are really able to step up, whereas we expect these random flourishy plays from Mango sometimes when he finds the ball in advantageous positions, but it's going to be up to some of these other players to really step up and make a play when the team needs it.
Pagani able to stuff 80's advance. A pinch coming through. Mango trying to chase that one into the corner. We'll be able to get there, but the demo coming onto Kiazi does kind of stall that offensive prowess that SU found themselves on. A counter demo coming through onto Chunk. Pagani up in the air, but Cyber already there to find the push off to the respawn. Chunk, the pass down to Cyber as well. Kiazi back on the defensive end, able to find the pinch off of the backboard, but no one from SU is there to capitalize on it.
Yep. 3 minutes left in this game, and we remain scoreless once again. Shenandoah doing a good job of now sort of returning the favor. The offensive possessions haven't really been there so far for Conestoga. A lot of sort of playing footsies in midfield and in the corners, but nothing really going on target. So SU, again, improving from previous games. We'll see if they're able to finish the job, though. Plenty of time left in this game for both teams as we see fireworks at midfield. Pagani gets demoed, and now here comes an offensive attempt. A shot on goal, but a big body there in front of the net. Mango able to stuff that one out.
Mango with a massive defensive play. Pagani there with a shot on goal in transition, but unable to follow up was Kiazi. No boost. Cyber with an absolute masterclass in aerial control dribbles through 2 members of SU and finds the first goal of game 3.
Yeah, he just seemed to slow the ball down in midair, and Kiazi goes flying to the corner, just missing it. So Conestoga once again takes the early lead, but can Shenandoah respond? Shenandoah not having the lead in any of these games yet. Will have to find the lead when the clock strikes 0 if they are to stay alive in this series.
Mango having an opportunity there, but Chunk playing patiently on the defensive end, waiting for that flip to come through from Mango and able to find the save, the redirect. Now Cyber back on defense. Pagani trying to find a clear. Will toss it up, but Cyber is there to find the catch. Flicking that one now off to midfield. And now we can see the rotations again from SU coming through. Defensive heavy is SU in game 3.
Clock keeps ticking, but still a good amount of time for Shenandoah. 90 seconds left in this game as the ball bounces back towards their goal, but able to be recovered as they bang it downfield and hope for a follow-up, but nothing that time around as 80 has an opportunity here in a one-on-one. Slow ball gives Shenandoah time to come back. Chunk is sitting at midfield. Cyber with the one more, but still defended by SU as the ball continues to sit right in front of the net. Finally cleared by SU, but right into the hands of Cyber, unable to respond as finally now SU able to leave their net.
Yeah, Pagani and Mango having the same idea there, trying to go for that midfield ball, but unable to find it into the corner. it goes. Mango trying to catch that one, but it's Chunk instead in position. Another shot on goal coming through from Pagani, but Cyber is already there on the defensive end. 40 seconds left to go here in game number 3 to try to keep this series alive. Mango trying to pass it down to Kiazi, but unable to find the connection. The cross coming through from Pagani, caught by Cyber, who is now searching for the clear.
Yep, Cyber goes up to try to put this one away. Chunk with a gorgeous shot on the follow-up, but well defended once again. Shenandoah able to defend these threats, but unable to respond. The clock has ticked down to 10 seconds remaining, and it would take a last-ditch effort here from Shenandoah as one more ball gets put on target. Chunk with a nice double tap there off the right side, and Conestoga pulls up with a 2-goal lead with 5 seconds left in their game-winning game.
I mean, yeah, an incredible play coming through from Chunk there. The speed was unbelievably fast. Chunk again trying to capitalize off of a kickoff, but won't be able to do so. Mango now 10 boosts to work with. What can you do? Mango pushing that one into the corner. Kiazi is the one to catch it, but with 0 seconds left, the ball will hit the ground, and Conestoga will find the Week 1 series victory.
Well, congratulations to Conestoga, 1-0 on the year. Great way to start the season, and best part about being 1-0 is having the opportunity to be 2-0. So, Conestoga with a great look to start the season. Shenandoah with moments to be proud of, but certainly plenty of work to do. As we take a look at the players, certainly not happy with the outcome, but you got to think there will be reasons to celebrate down the line.
Yeah, I mean, it looked good in Game 2 and 3. Game 1, they just fell behind early defensively. They looked a little sloppy, uncoordinated on the rotations, but definitely cleaned itself up in Game 2 and Game number 3. Those games a lot closer than they were in Game 1. It was both, I believe, a 2-1 victories for Conestoga in Game 2 and Game 3, so it looked a lot better defensively, but they just weren't able to get that offensive connection rolling for the Hornets.
Yep, so with that, both teams have film, right?
Sure.
Now we go back. This is the fun part of the season, right? Week 1 is always hard because there's little to nothing to prep on, right? It's you never know how your team is going to play until they're out there. You never know how the opponent's going to look until they're out there. But now, as both of these teams settle in to their week-to-week schedule, hopefully we'll see both of these teams start to improve and maybe meet again later in the season.
Yeah, I mean, huge props to Conestoga as well. All players playing extremely, extremely well. Cyber, 3 goals in this series, 80 with 4, and Chunk with 2 of their own as well. Chunk with 2 very important goals, mind you, in games 2 and 3 respectively. So yeah, the clutch factor certainly there on the side of Conestoga, able to get all 3 members going offensively, and the defense absolutely clamping down Mango. Chunk and Cyber, unbelievable on that defensive side.
Yeah, all 3 Conestoga players over 2,000 MMR, I believe. So
that'll do it.
Very, very strong roster, right? Let's not lie to ourselves. That was a heck of a matchup that would have taken a lot, certainly winnable for Shenandoah, but would have taken some of the best Rocket League they have played. So very talented roster over there. Good luck to them. But as we continue to watch our Shenandoah roster improve, we'll see what they look to change before we move to next week.
Yeah, and frankly, I think it's just reps, right? I mean, this is week 1 of competition. There's going to be some growing pains as you move through the season. That happens, frankly, with every single team here that we see in the esports scene, no matter the game, right? Week 1 sometimes will look great, but there's some things that you can work on, especially on the losing side. When things don't go your way, you have a lot to look at in that regard, and this team is known to do that. They are known to improve week by week and get better and be able to challenge the Conestogas, there it is, Conestogas here in playoff bracket scenarios.
Yeah, and while We know that Shenandoah was able to win their NECC bracket last semester. NACE was the harder bracket for them, the harder pool, the harder league for them to play in. So while you'd like to see that turnaround, again, this is high-level competition that SU is in, but that's the best kind of competition. You'd like to sort of sharpen yourselves off of the best teams out there. I'm not sure if we have a player standing by. It sounds like we might very soon. So hold tight while we prepare that interview, but hopefully the team's feeling good, right? Like I said, there were certainly moments in there that are worth celebrating, right? There were certainly moments that could be improved, and we'll see what they opt to do, how they bounce back as soon as we see them next, which I believe won't be until next week.
Yeah, I believe next week will be the next game. And SU had some shining moments on the offensive side. Game 2 and Game 3, we saw some passing plays start to develop with Kiazi and Mango Pagani as well, finding much better clears from Mango and Kiazi to start to capitalize on the offensive side. They just weren't able to get it done. But it was an amazing showing from both of these squads.
Absolutely. Well, we don't have an interview for you. I may have lied about 30 seconds ago, but we do have our MVP of the series. We can take a quick look at who that is. It will be Pagani, one of the players we said needed to step up if we were going to see some success tonight. And while Shenandoah unfortunately comes up short, Pagani did hold up his end pretty well. 1 assist, 5 saves, 5 shots on goal. Certainly can't complain when Pagani's playing like that.
Especially with those sweet jerseys. I mean, look at that guy. That is pretty darn cool, right? But yeah, the average score as well, 300 there for Pagani. Looking very, very strong, very much everywhere on the field, trying to set up passing plays for the offense, and as well finding those 5 saves on the defensive end as well. But that's not to say that everyone on SU did play very, very well.
Yeah, we said it pregame that, you sort of expect Mango to be the guy on that team, but when this team succeeds, it is due to the X factors that the other 2 players bring to the table. So certainly something to be proud of for Pagani. Week 1 MVP for Shenandoah, but I was correct earlier when I said that we don't have an interview, which means that does it for us back here. An unfortunate start to Shenandoah's Rocket League season in NACE Varsity Premier as they look to bounce back next week. Be sure to tune in on Thursday as our Super Smash Bros. Varsity team will kick off their season as well, and you won't want to miss that. I'm Chris Clayton. This is Ben Kincaid. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might just change their life, and we will see you next time.
We'll be right back.